Hey guys, what's up? In today's tutorial we are going to try to make at least a groove like a Mathame. I'm actually not sure that if I pronunciated the name right. I think it's called Mathame. I'm not sure. Correct me if I am telling it or if I am pronouncing it wrong. I would just call them Mathame. So we are trying to make a groove like Mathame, and it will be kind of like a really dark and heavy low end together with like a slight bass and a little bit white noise in the background, and there will be also a little bit different things. But before we start with the video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit that bell button so that you get notifications when we make a new video like this. Other than that, let's take a look. So I will start this by picking kind of a kick that has a really nice low end, because it's really important. I'm going to utilize the kick's low end to build kind of a really sub bass, and then we are going to build another bass on top of that. But let's try to find something that is heavy on the low end. So I'm gonna pick something like I was only trying to see if there's something. I realized that these guys have some really low heavy kicks. Let me do it this way. I think this one is good enough. So let's put this here and let this put there, and let's see. Yeah, I think this will just do. It's quite heavy on the low end, and that's exactly what I'm looking for. So what I'm going to do at this moment is just put an EQ, because I want this kick to be really dark and heavy. So I'm gonna cut some of the high ends here, something like this. And I'm gonna put a limiter to even out this kind of movement in the low end, because I want to have this kind of hard hitting heavy low end. So I can even put actually a compressor right before the limiter to even more compress the kick a bit more. So I'm gonna put this here. To start with, I'm gonna put the ceiling on 6 dB, minus 6 dB. It's more or less what you would aim for the pre-master, I will say. Slightly push the gain, and let's turn off the makeup and even try this guy, and then let's put another EQ afterwards. And then I will feel like a bit boxy here. Let's take that off. Something like this to start with. We will come back to the kick later on when we are making our groove. So what I'm going to do at this moment is actually put another audio channel, and we are going to listen to the kick here, and then we are going to listen to it post effects. So after everything that we have put here, we are moving the sound in the audio channel here, and we are going to put it into in mode so that we can use it like a monitor as well, so that we can hear the sound. So at this point I will put a delay on top of that, and then let's take something like a very fast, and let's focus on super lows. So I'm expecting like we will barely hear the lows. By the way, you have to have a really nice headphones, or at least you have to have a nice reference monitors for this one, otherwise you won't be able to really hear the sub bass. Let's put a bit time so that it's kind of like pulling. Decrease the feedback. So what I would like to do at this point, I put another compressor and then a limiter as well, and do the similar thing here. But I will push down a little bit lower than the kick, so that kick is still strongest element in the kick or in the track. Then we are definitely going to use another compressor to sidechain this one to the kick, so that when the kick hits, we are going to duck the bass. I want to have this pretty aggressive, so again, the kick is my dominant element here. So let's give a room to kick. Something like this. Let's put a look ahead so that we start tucking the bass before kick even hits. This has to be 100% wet, otherwise we are hearing the original kick. So I would like to use another EQ to just push slightly the little bit highs of the low end to just to hear a bit better. Let's put this around -20. So I'm thinking like putting another. And then I would definitely call this one bass, or at least sub, because we are going to take the design another bass on top of this. Sub, and then let's group this up, and let's try to parallel press a little bit more. Let's put a drum bass. It's really important that you always do A and B, so bypass the effect that you are putting on to actually see what you are really doing. Otherwise, you may end up like something with actually worse than that you start with. But this is sounding quite nice for my ears. I would definitely think about putting another limiter. Just even out a little bit more. I know at the moment the bass is really heavy, but this type of tracks has this kind of really heavy low end, and that's the reason that we are aiming for really like a dark and heavy low end. And let's say this is our like a low, and then we are going to build kind of another bass just to give this kind of a more driving feeling to the track. So I'm just going to put an analog device in this case, and let's try to get, I think the kick equals F. Let me see if I'm correct. We are picking around here. Yeah, it is F. And let's play some, or let's create at least some driving bass in F. Simple F should do, I think. So let's take. So let's duplicate this. So what we are going to do, we need a filter on top of this. We need an envelope on filter so that it closes quite fast, and then we have to make it a bit darker as well. So let's try. Something that should sound like this should be fine. Let's turn the volume down a little bit here. I feel like this could be a little bit better actually. And let me try something like this. Yeah, this feels a bit more like techno than other one. Let's make it a bit more focused. I feel like one oscillator is giving more feeling than the second one. It just disturbs the sound. Let's play a little bit with the compressor to make the sound a bit like or give the sound a bit more character. But I would like to have now kind of a delay on top of that to give this kind of more stereo feeling. Let's get a delay and put it on the higher side, put it into big pong. And actually I would like to have this one like in the parallel chain because I want to keep the origin sound and just a slight delay on top of that. And maybe even compressor on the delay as well. Which is sidechaining the kick. It's much better. The thing that is missing at the moment is like this kind of the ambient sound. So we need a pad sound, and on top of that we need kind of I will say the white noise. For the pad sound, I will definitely take a look at the wavetable because I would like to have this kind of like a wider but darker pad sound. Let's put a wavetable here. So what we can do, we have to come up with kind of a more melancholic and dark chord progression. So I would like to extend this probably something like that so that we have enough space to actually progress with the chords. So let's do something like this. And let's find some chord progression. So let me see the origin sound. Let's put this into the sawtooth-ish. Make it a bit darker to start with. Let me see. Let's put this long F because I want to have this root note like playing all the time, just to give a bit better ambience feeling. Let's push it all the way up. So let's try this. Then maybe we cut there. Okay, that was a bit too early. Let's try something like this. And then maybe we go to back to C. Let's try. This definitely needs a shimmer uniser. Let's give a little bit. We can definitely kind of probably play with some LFO on here so that we have a little bit movement on the sound. Save this one as PRD as well. I feel like we need another EQ and a reverb on top of this. Maybe we can put another oscillator, like a tune, an octave below, kind of. Yeah. Of course, we need a compressor sidechain in the kick a little bit to give this groove feeling. I would like to keep this really slight, so if you make it too aggressive, it will start to feel weird. You want to hear it like slightly. Let's put a chorus on top of that to make the delay or the reverb a little bit more interesting. And I think this is good for now. What I'm missing really in this sound is kind of an ambient. So I want to have this kind of a white or pink noise, and on top of that maybe a little bit erosion, maybe a little bit like vinyl crackle, so something like that to fill up the space. So what I'm going to do, put another MIDI here. Let's find an analog. And then turn off all those oscillators, turn on only the noise, and put a simple note. So I'm gonna copy this one out here, delay this guy over here, and just play it. And then let's get the vinyl on top of that, which is vinyl distortion. Let's put below before this guy. Let's crackle a bit. Let's put the reverb to make the sound a bit smooth, or to smoothen out the sound a little bit. Slight compressor. At this moment, you can definitely think about putting another wave table or the kind of another pad to give it a bit high end to the sound. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to copy this. I'm going to change it to kind of a bit more square wave. And I'm going to push it like both of them. Oops. And open this up a little bit. just give this air to the sound. Yeah, I think this is ready to go. So when you have this kind of group, all you need to do actually find a nice melody on top of that, because you don't want to just waste all this nice low end and ambience with kind of a, I would say, bad melody. You have to have kind of a really nice plugs probably on top of that, but the plugs has to be a bit maybe FM synthesized so that you have a bit kind of weird distortion on top of that, and then you are good to go. But I think this is it for today's video, and I hope you learned something, and I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next time. Goodbye.